Lesson 19 presentation. In this presentation, we will talk about relative clauses in Arabic. Basically, there are two types of relative clauses in Arabic. First, a relative clause which has an indefinite antecedent. Second, a relative clause which has a definite antecedent. Let's talk about the relative clause which has an indefinite antecedent. In order to understand this topic, let me give you an English sentence as an example. He is a kid who complains about his mom and dad. In this sentence, kid is indefinite. The word who is a relative pronoun and refers to a kid in the sentence. As a rule, even though the antecedent is indefinite, we are supposed to use relative pronouns in English. This is also true for that and which in English. Now, let's look at the Arabic equivalent. هو ولد يشتكي من أبويه. In the Arabic sentence, we can easily recognize that there is no verb for who because the antecedent ولد is indefinite. As a rule, whenever the antecedent is indefinite, there will be no relative pronoun in Arabic. Here are some more examples about indefinite antecedent in Arabic. هذا أستاذ يتكلم 3 لغات. This is a teacher who speaks 3 languages. هذه سيارة تمر أمامنا غدا. This is the car which passed by us yesterday. هم طلاب درسوا في المغرب. They are students who studied in Morocco. لا أعرف صحفيا أمريكيا يتكلم العربية جيدا. I do not know an American reporter who speaks Arabic well. Let's talk about relative clause which has a definite antecedent. When the antecedent is definite, we are supposed to use a relative pronoun in Arabic. Let's review the examples below. الأستاذ الذي يتكلم 3 لغات جاء من مصر. In this example, the word al-ustaz is definite. Therefore, we need to use an appropriate relative pronoun after it. Relative pronouns like الذي, التي must be in agreement in gender and number with the antecedent, which is al-ustadh in this example. Let's look at the following examples. الطلاب الذين درسوا في المغرب حصلوا على شهادتهم اليوم. In this example, الطلاب antecedent, الذي relative pronoun. We have another example. السيارة التي تمر أمامنا غدا كانت سريعة. In this example, السيارة antecedent and it is definite, and the relative pronoun that comes after it التي. So it is relative pronoun that is in agreement with the antecedent, which is السيارة in this example. Restrictive relative nouns. If relative nouns are restricted to a specific noun, that is, if they modify a noun and agree with this modified noun in number and gender, we call this type of relative noun restrictive nouns. There is a very important feature of the restrictive relative nouns. They assume different forms depending on the form of the antecedent. As the antecedent changes in number and gender, the relative nouns also change accordingly. Let's look at the examples below. السيارة التي تمر أمامنا غدا كانت سريعة. So in this example, السيارة singular, feminine. So the restrictive relative noun that comes after it, feminine and singular, التي. Let me repeat one more time. السيارة التي تمر أمامنا غدا كانت سريعة. Let's move on to the second example. الكتب التي في المكتبة رخيصة. الكتب التي في المكتبة رخيصة. In this example, the noun, the antecedent in this sentence, al-kutub, is plural and non-rational noun. The relative noun that comes after this noun is singular and feminine. You see in this sentence, al-kutub is plural. But the restrictive relative noun, which is allati, is singular. The reason for this, non-rational nouns are regarded singular in Arabic. Therefore, they are mostly followed by singular verbs and singular relative nouns. Let's move on to third example. اللاعبون الذين في الملعب متعبون. اللاعبون الذين في الملعب متعبون. In this example, you see the antecedent اللاعبون is plural rational noun. The restrictive relative noun, which is الذين, is plural. As you can see, between اللاعبون and الذين, there is a total agreement in number and gender. Let's talk about the second type of non-restrictive relative nouns, which are men and ma. Men is generally used with rational nouns, while ma refers to non-rational nouns. Secondly, ma does not change with the gender of the antecedent. Take a look at the following examples and pay close attention to how ma and men are used here.